Hey everyone, I am doing a quick video to demonstrate and maybe get some feedback on a plan for a trade city that I'm doing. It's not going to be quite a city, it'll more than likely be more of a town, small community, 50,000 max. It's got oil and coal, and I do have a neighboring city that I did last night. It's over there. It's pretty much where all the funding for this city came from. Um, it's got ore, coal, and alloy smelting. It's pretty high in trade. It's like 1.6 million total traded in a day's worth, I think, something like that. And I'm still a little new to the game, but although the funding hasn't made it this way yet, I did have to take three $100,000 loans out. I shipped 600,000. That hasn't made it yet, but soon, hopefully. I'm gonna actually pause so it doesn't grow. I don't know what all them noises are. Oh, friends. Another thing I did as I was laying out the city among those $300,000 bonds is I actually laid down my basic services pretty much before the city was even settled. Before I ran it for like 3 days, maybe it was like 5 days, I was actually in the hole like 5,000 in expenses. Um, I ticked it so that I didn't look like a complete douchebag trying to give advice or take advice um, from the community. Um, it just would have, in my opinion, looked bad if I was in the whole 5,000 in expenses trying to do a video. Um, so I feel like so far it's been a success, even though I was in the hole. Eventually, just to bolster my population, I will do a basic school, grammar school, or elementary school, that's what they call it. Anyway, as you can see, um, most of my demand that I'll possibly need here will come from over there, or my citizens will ship over there to work or whatnot and shop. Um, anyway, to the plan. Basically, I drew out the basic U here for my, um, mass, um, not mass communications, mass commuting. There's not a whole lot of commercial or industrial, although a lot of my jobs will be coming from the, the coal plants and the oil rigs and whatnot, the coal mining and oil mining. And then all that will eventually make it down here where I will smelt it. Um, a little side note, I had so many natural disasters down here as I was starting. It cost me probably at least $1.5 million just rebuilding and cleaning up. Pretty confident that I could make it through everything, except for if I went bankrupt. It is like 35,000 in the hole, but with a $1.5 million income on trade on the alloy in a day, the 35,000 an hour. I mean, it adds up, but I don't know, it's not so bad. That's another thing I need to try to clean up is some of my expenses, although it is roughly, I think, 65,000 people, so my expenses pretty much needed. Can't really cut too many costs. Anyway, let's show you what we're looking at. the residential, commercial, and industrial, and we'll look at where I came out with the plan for my roads, and I'll describe it a little bit. And listen, if you guys think I'm doing something wrong or think I could do something more efficiently or effectively, let me know, because that's more than 50% of the reason why I'm making this video is for feedback and to share my ideas and how my mind grinds. So right now we're looking at coal. Basically, my mines will be in this area and in here, clearly. I could also smelt, because I have so much excess down here. I could ship up my ore and smelt with the coal from up here, um, and ship some of the coal down here to kind of balance it all in the end. Um, yeah, so I saved this space and this space for any of that extra processing. I might go into petroleum also with my oil, if that's how that works. I've considered doing my recycling here for the region, actually. So depending on how I decide to do things, I might actually do a hefty amount of recycling here. Although I don't want to ship all my recycling to such a small populace. I'll probably end up doing my recycling in one of my non-trade cities, which is kind of weird to say that because the recycling will turn into a trade city. I should say one of my non-mining cities, or drilling for that matter. Um, so yeah, I have all this extra space for industry, not this kind of industry, but anyway, my oil is right here. So I guess from this point over, I could cut it off here too and get some extra, you know, buildings in there if there's enough room, um, including this spot down here. So that's my oil. Basically, I decided I was going to do. Oh, that's another major thing actually, is the wind. It's actually huge, and I learned about wind late in this process. I had to relocate a huge chunk of residential, but once I did that, everybody stopped getting sick. Um, I had residential in this area back here and industrial over here, and it was wasting perfectly um, non-polluted, non-air polluted space over here on industrial. So I just relocated. After some time, the ground pollution went away, luckily. The whole reason I had air pollution over here, yeah, this is a coal mine up here, and all the air pollution was blowing down here into my residential. So I just swapped it out. It worked out. Anyway, the wind was a huge factor in on the way I decided to zone the area. So I got industrial up here. It'll blow out, as well as all this. This will cause all the pollution. Same with right here. This is all pollution, air pollution and ground. The only ground is right here actually, but it's all air pollution. And I'm hoping it doesn't blow too bad into my residential zone down there, but we'll just have to see. Yeah. Anyway, so I guess that about sums it up. Um, I saved this for more of my, you know, whatever I need it for. I'm sure in the specialization process I will need that extra land. And I saved all back here for, well, it doesn't really make it into here, but it'll be back here and back here and all down here for water, sewage, trade ports for storage. More trade ports will be right here the actual trade port that I use to ship. The other trade ports will be just for storage. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, I got all this extra land too, which won't necessarily be polluted down here with air pollution, so I'll be able to use that for other things as well. I might squeeze in some residential if I start getting too hit on my expenses. I'm really hoping it'll be a lot easier to balance my expenses here, that I don't have all the major trade specialization buildings that I have down here. Um, we'll have to see though. So I guess that wraps it up, guys. Um, Make sure to leave some feedback wherever you can if you have anything to say. And maybe this will be useful to you. Alright guys, thanks.